Hey guys, it's Tony. So I wanted to come on today quickly to give a quick testimony because I feel like it could be encouraging to someone else in their situation. So last week I found myself in a situation. I literally was driving to get my daughter lunch, and I got a call. I was getting several calls from unknown numbers, and then I don't have I have a fairly new number, so nobody has my phone number. It's really, really private. So I'm getting my daughter something to eat, I'm driving, and then I get a text message, and it's someone that I don't know, but I know who they represent. And so I gave them a call back immediately because I knew this pertained to a business of mine. And so I called them back, and they were really, really belligerent, like irate with me. It was just 111 on my clock, so that's anyway, belligerent, and I couldn't really make out what he was talking about. And he was threatening, and but I knew within the situation that, matter of fact, the situation was a blessing. I had a contract for something. It was a blessing. And I just knew it was God. When it happened, matter of fact, I actually kind of talked about it a little bit on the channel a couple of months ago. It was such a blessing. It was on time, right before the storm. But I knew that I had covered all my bases, dotted all the I's, crossed all the T's, and that's just the type of person I am, and I practice the law, and, so, I understand contracts. Not every single type of contract, but I was knowledgeable that I had done everything correctly, and everything was, like, on the up and up. And so for the last month and a half, I'm thinking everything is good, everything is fine, and then I get this call saying that it's void, and it's been, the contract expired because of the storm, and da-da-da-da-da. And so I said, well, you'll just have to talk to my attorney. Now, regardless if you have representation or whatever, something like that is stressful, especially when, you're already dealing with a million other things in your personal life. The things on the outside world are hard to avoid, hard to ignore. And then this thing that you think is a blessing from God, you're like questioning, what did I do wrong? And when the enemy is so cunning because he will make you feel guilty for something you didn't even do. So I was just like, why God, did I do something wrong? You start thinking, dang, is it because, I had attitude with this person last month? Or is it because you start thinking about every little thing that you may have done wrong, But I know, I can only speak for myself and say that, when I really, really do strive to just be an honest, upstanding, kind, generous person. I love God, and I never would intentionally do anything against him. So I'm really searching my heart, like, why would this be coming against me? Why did I feel like this was such an on-time blessing if this was going to happen? Why would you allow this, God? So needless to say, since last Wednesday or Thursday, I've been stressed. I had anxiety. My chest was hurting. I was losing sleep, and part of that is my personality. It's something that God is dealing with me on, being overly concerned about tomorrow, things of the future. And so, and I've had to move again, and then just a lot of different things, and so I told only a couple of people in my I don't even have a circle, y'all. A circle implies that you have a lot of people in your immediate proximity. I don't. I have more 2-3 dots. They don't even make a circle. That's how very few people are in my life. But I told 2 people, and we've been praying, fasting and praying, warring about this thing because it was literally just causing me so much pain. And the Lord had me be silent. Because my first inkling was to, just, have the attorney get on it, make the calls, address it. But the Lord told me to be silent. Wait. So over the weekend, I really, really tried to not focus on it, not think about it, and just live my life, take care of things. So just yesterday, it's funny, I got up and the Lord said, now. And I was just like, I didn't have the courage. And I've never really asked the Lord for courage. So I like everything in black and white. So I sent out a letter to the representative that I do know that actually completed the contract for me. And he contacted me back and he said, can you give me a call? I said, well, no. I said, unless it's my attorney, you and I had a good relationship. Unless it's my attorney, then we're not going to be talking because I want everything in black and white. He was like, no, everything is fine. Just give me a call. So I did. I asked the Lord if it was okay. I called my prayer buddy. And, my prayer buddy said, go ahead. You'll be surprised. Everything's going to be fine. And we had been like praying about this thing. And so I called him and he said, I'm so sorry. He said, I'm so sorry. He said, what actually happened was the contract was completed before the storm, a couple weeks before the storm. And everything in my hometown is shut down. Like, I don't know if you guys watch the news or anything. It's shut down. Matter of fact, another storm is headed here tomorrow to my hometown. And it's just devastated. So if you think about me, you think about my mom, my family, please pray for them. I'm headed out to go and get my mom now. But yeah, he said the FedEx is shut down. It's still shut down. And the contract from the bank has actually just been sitting at the FedEx. And I had a truck. I had someone personally go and pick it up yesterday. And I am expediting it. And normally the bank wouldn't do this, but because of the circumstances surrounding the hurricane and the devastation, everything's going to go through. It's fine. And you don't need to do anything. And I'm really, really sorry that happened to you, Immediately, it was like a weight was lifted. And I had been sensing that the enemy, including, moving my house and just school, my job, so many different things. Everything in my life is just kind of like new right now. But there's been, I thought major delays that made me question if this was really God. Is this for me? Lord, did you tell me, was it really you that told me to move here, specifically here at this time, to get this car, to take this job, to, go to school this semester in the middle of all of this stuff? And literally, I had sensed that the enemy was trying to get me off course, that he couldn't really, really steal my blessings. He couldn't steal it, but he could steal my joy, my peace, and he could also have me doubt what God said to me, which is actually doubting my relationship with God and my gifting, because I speak to you guys. I speak to people. I prophesy all day, all night. That is what God has called me to do. And so if you could imagine, when you are called to ministry and you're called to other people, questioning your relationship or questioning if you're hearing from God, it's a burden. It's scary because, I'm like, God, if I'm not hearing you clearly, I need to close my mouth, And the Lord literally was saying, no, I have you exactly where I want you. You are exactly where you need to be. You did exactly what I told you to do. The enemy will still oppose you. And so I had to come on here to tell you guys that it doesn't matter what it looks like. If you know that God has spoken to you about a thing, you watch that thing play out. But the biggest thing, the biggest highlight and the biggest takeaway from this situation was being obedient. To actually fast and pray when the Lord tells you to actually be quiet. Silence is golden. To be quiet when the Lord tells you to. And so I had to just come on and give you guys that testimony. A lot of you are feeling anxious about personal things. A lot of you are feeling anxious about things that are going on in the world. A lot of you are concerned about, obviously there are people that can't even, they're being evicted because of the, just so many things are going on. And I can only imagine what you're going through, because I can tell you that it has not been a cakewalk for me. But still, God, you have the victory. God has told you, you have been obedient, you stand. You stand and you see the salvation of the Lord. And the other thing is, I had never experienced a situation like this before, where I was thinking I would have to, I mediate for a living, but I didn't, where I've actually had to hire an attorney for myself and face something like this. And I have always heard that, like you hear that God is a doctor in the sick room in the hospital, or he's a lawyer in the courtroom. And you guys know that, I have autoimmune, and so I understand that I've had to go through infusions and chemo and all that stuff. I've had to do that kind of thing. And so I know that God has kept me. But as far as legal matters, I've never had to deal with that. But I was so ready, because all my friends are attorneys. I was so ready to have an attorney on it. The Lord said, no, I'm your attorney. You don't need any other representation than me. And for some of you, you don't need any other representation than the Lord, than Yah, than Abba, your father. He's your father. He's your doctor. He's your attorney. Trust me. He's your mother. Trust me. Trust me, I am telling you, this situation made me feel like my life was being turned upside down the last few days. It's amazing how the enemy will just plant one seed, and you're questioning everything that God has ever told you. That was me. And I needed to come on here for one and confess that. And I mean confessing like I did something wrong, but I needed to come on and say that, I am not perfect is an understatement. Like when people say I'm not perfect, that implies that somebody think the perfect is not even in the realm of possibility. But I am not, just because I can get on here and, the Lord gives me a word and prophesy and all that stuff, doesn't mean that I forego any trials. Or trust me, a lot of times that happen to me before the people that I encounter, because they're for this very reason. We overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. So, many of you are going through this. Don't question God. Question everything else. Everything else. Heaven and earth will pass away before his word is made to be a lie. Let every man be a lie. And God be true. He is true. He is true. He's the only true thing in the world, in the universe. The only true thing that exists is God. Not the Republican Party, not the Democratic Party. And I love politics, but I've even had to take a step back from that. And I don't even want to go into a whole nother tangent. But what I'm saying is, you can't rely on them. Can't rely on a stimulus package. You can't even rely on your friends sometimes. And I'm going to be honest with you. You guys, I know that some of you are going through seasons where your friends aren't there, because I'm going through that. I'm going through that very, very thing. And it's not to be like, to be ugly or, but it's just to be transparent. Like sometimes there are things that the Lord will not even release your friends to do for you. And sometimes it's not even your friends or your family. It's just that God has instructed people, however it may be, to not isolate you, but to let him have this one. And so I was feeling like I didn't have any friends. I was feeling like, man, I'm always there for everybody. Who's in my corner? Who? I'm there for everybody in the middle of the worst of times. The worst of times. Who's there for me? But the Lord, man, he came through cool, clean, collected, like sharp. Like it was so simple. And then I got an apology. You rarely get apologies, and I say, and you can write this down, I believe that just because you deserve an apology doesn't mean that you should expect one at all. But I even got an apology for the stress. The Lord is vindicating you. He is vindicating you. And he will have people examining themselves for how they've treated you. Trust me. And sometimes that's better than money. That's better than any restitution. Sometimes just God dealing with people in their hearts, that's the restitution. And that's what we ought to want, because we want God to show up to other people. We want God to show up in the lives of our enemies, people that don't even realize that they are our enemies. We want God to show up and minister to them, because that's how salvation comes about. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I know I got off a little bit on a tangent. This was very impromptu, which I rarely do, but I had to. Matter of fact, one of my good friends told me that I needed to do it, and I was nervous because I don't like being super transparent, but it blessed me so much. I was actually able to. I was freer yesterday than I have been in a long time. And yeah. And for all of the emails and the prayers, thank you so much. And if I do not reply to your email right away, I actually go through and I really, really try to address the ones that are urgent, because some people are in need of like major intercession, and so I just allow the Lord to lead me to urgent matters first. But I do pray every single day for every single subscriber, commenter, even the comments that I don't like, and every email, because God knows I'm just a vessel. I'm just this kid. I'm a mediator in the natural realm. I'm a mediator in the spiritual realm. I just take it to God in prayer, and that's not all that we can do. That is the first thing we should do. Sometimes we make like prayer is a last resort, but prayer is the first line of defense. So I love you guys. I hope you're having an amazing day. Let not your heart be troubled. Peace be still. God is vindicating you. He said what he said. He said what he said, and he meant it. It's yours. It's yours. In the midst of all this craziness, in the midst of the big thing that's about to happen, and I feel like it's coming in the next few weeks, coming in November. And there was a revelation that God did give me about that. When he told me the big thing that was coming was not the election, it wasn't COVID. What I really, really believe is it's all of it. And it's all going to come to a head. It's big, but I don't care how big it is. It's not going to be bigger than what God is doing in your life. It's not going to be bigger than your wedding day. It's not going to be bigger than your miracle children. It's not going to be bigger than that job promotion, or that new business, that new ministry, or that healing in your body, or the salvation of your children or your family members. It's not bigger than that. It's not bigger than that house that God's going to give you with no money down. It's not bigger than that. It's not bigger than you having a reliable car that's under warranty in the name of Jesus Christ. And these things might sound like all material things, but they're not. It's not bigger than you finally feeling free where your heart smiles. Guys, I've been in a place where there are times where my heart couldn't even smile. You'd be surprised. So anyway, I hope that encouraged somebody. I love you. Remember that, like, I don't like when people have to make this disclaimer. Every prophetic word is not for everybody. Most of my prophetic words are for everybody, because that's just the type of ministry that God has me. And this prophetic word is for everybody, because everyone has been in this situation, or will be in this situation at some point in their life, and you are being vindicated. And what God said, he meant it. He said what he said. I love you guys.